Hi, happy. I annoyed myself. Hi. Happy freaking. Oh, Wednesday. It's bin day again. I'm actually gonna stop. Hang on. Hi, happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's alright. I just wanted to do a quick video. It's getting quite late here and I'm a bit tired, but I've just finished off a painting, and rather than just post it off like I did with the last one, I was going to do a video and then the timing was never right. Fucking eyelids flickering from fatigue. It's been flickering for days. We stayed up, all of us stayed up on Saturday night, tried to make an event out of nothing. We were trying to stay up for the MMA fighting to watch Conor McGregor. And like have a midnight feast with the kids and sleep on the sofa and stuff. And since then, God, that's a long time ago, isn't it? I've not caught up and my eyelids been flickering and my eyebrow and stuff. And I've dyed my hair and it's not the shade that I envisaged, but hey ho. Yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to show my painting because, yeah, I just feel like I've been processing a lot of stuff for the last couple of weeks. I've not felt like I've had much faith, to be honest. You know, there's always that inside, but I felt a lot of stagnation and, you know, just depression and grief, and then just the way that the whole world reacts. And, you know, it's I don't know, it's a strange place at the minute, isn't it? And yeah, I think like just big decisions are sort of being made. It's like, yeah, it's almost like, well, we've had to have real chats about what we're going to do about school eventually and things like that. And it's like, because the kids are really missing school. And I've just took them to the park and spoke to some other kids who told me the same as well. And it's obvious, you know, why they would be, because once you stop sucking your mum's tit, your life is all about your friends, isn't it, for a bit, that period. And it's just so cruel to deny social contact, it really is. We were, you know, I've said all along, like, maybe I'm a psycho, but even if it was airborne AIDS, I'd still be wanting to go out and, you know, I wouldn't be wanting to do what they're expecting people to do. It's just crazy. But anyway, the narrative continues and I'm just finding myself, I'm just bored with it all. I think I was waiting for something. It definitely wasn't Trump. I wasn't expecting Q or Trump to save me. I'm not expecting anyone to save me, apart from me. But there was a bit of faith and hope that, you know, maybe one morning there'd be some article that's like, you know, PCR tests found to be blah, blah, you know, all the shit we know about, but it just being there for all to see unequivocally, or, you know, just bit by bit, more of it crumbling, but I don't see any of that. It's like, I always remember this song, Naughty Boy, La La La. That's kind of what happens. It's like the narrative is pushed through politicians and media, and that's it. And everything else, it's just la 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 la. And so you get the censoring and the fact checking and all this bollocks. So it's rather amusing, isn't it? But it's annoying. So we've got to have real conversations, you know, like about, I don't know, just about future. It's just, I think it's just like preparing for shit, isn't it? I feel like, and so I feel like I've been processing for a couple of weeks, and now I can feel this sort of fire gradually coming back up in me now. I feel like I'm going to get some huge surge of, you know, sort of focus. I don't know, I feel ready for whatever's coming next, because I'm personally fed up of the stagnation, and you know, only I can change that. So it's like, I'm going to crack on with my life in whatever way I can and express in as many means as I can. So I just wanted to do this little video just to show off my newest painting. And the last couple that I've done, I've used the sizes of the actual constellations if you look up in the visible sky, or if you corroborate with stellarium. So it's not tropical astrology, it's not looking at it through that lens, and it's not even really the sidereal zodiac. It's using 13 signs, including a Fucus, which is the 13th sign, because that constellation is there in the sky and it does physically cross the ecliptic. So it's included for me. And so I've been on this journey with the astrology for months and months now, since I started painting the natal charts and just needing for myself and my further study to know which way to go. And yeah, and having a real struggle and battle. I went through all the Vedic stuff and started off thinking that it really made much more sense because it was 12 equal signs, 12 houses, you know, it's can't go wrong. And I was sort of even looking into, you know, actually interpreting in the Vedic way, using the divisional charts rather than the circle wheels. And I was like, oh, this is all right. And then I found the nakshatras, which are the 27 lunar mansions that a lot of the Vedic astrologers use as well. And I was really excited about that as well. And then I found out that some astrologers use tropical signs and a sidereal nakshatra, and there's all these millions of different ways of interpreting. And it was stressing me out until I realised that, fucking hell, like, there are an infinite amount of ways of looking at a circle. Yeah, and that's probably the problem with the whole flat earth shit. But anyway, I just sometimes I hate coming back to the flat earth stuff, but even like using Stellarium, the app, and if you zoom in and out, it's just like, it's like the star map, you know, like the map, and it's just folded around the ball, around this fucking ball. And it's like, but when you stand out at night and you can corroborate with Stellarium, it's like the other night from sort of south to north, the way I was looking, I could see, I think it was like seven and a bit of the signs, the star signs, the constellations, out of 12. And I'm like, how does that work on a ball, you know? Shouldn't that be? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just funny. I once had a psychedelic trip and I wrote down, they just pulled the map into around the ball. That's what my notes were afterward. So funny. But anyway, so back to the Stellarium, yeah. And things really changed for me when I looked on Stellarium, and I got really excited because it's just, you know, I can see it outside and then you can put any date in and check things out, and it's just a really nice way of looking at things rather than, you know, just having these stagnant charts, whether it's your Vedic freaking divisional one or the circle one. It's like, it just feels more alive to actually look at the sky physically, you know, and some of the shit. Bloody phone switched off then. Chuffy now. I've got my charger on now. I don't know what I was banging on about. I think I was banging on about the stars. So, yeah, so my whole journey was sort of like... fucking dog's trying to go in. Yeah, he can't because I've put a hoverboard up against the door. I'm speaking quietly because I know they're waiting for me out there. They can hear me through the door. My little girl's waiting for me. She keeps saying, have you finished? And it's like, nope. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, Stellarium was like a game changer. And so I found this website, this freaking YouTube channel, whatever, and I'm going to put the link to it down below, Mastering the Zodiac. And so he uses this, and he's got a link to a computer program that will put your birthday in and, you know, pull it out pretty close to how you'd find it on Stellarium. I did notice a couple of things were a little bit off, but not much, you know, a couple of degrees here and there. So, oh yeah, that was it. So I was talking about how excited I'd got about the nakshatras, these 27 lunar mansions, which are measured by the fixed stars. There's, you know, certain fixed stars within these nakshatras, these areas of space. And people are using different ways to calculate the nakshatras, where to start from, sidereally or tropically. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, surely they'll align up with the true sidereal wheel, because it is the way the sky is. And they do. And so I was super jazzed. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just feeling like really good, like a weight's being lifted off. Like, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered by anything else or anyone else's way of interpreting anymore. And I'm really open to learn new things. And, you know, I don't want to be, you know, some like, stuck in the past thing, you know. I just want to evolve things naturally and nicely. And so for me, if I can see up there and that's what it looks like, then that to me is the best representation for me, the best blueprint of how things are. And so, you know, as I was doing these paintings, and the last two I've added nakshatras onto them, and yeah, they line up perfectly. And, you know, with this, even with the way the signs are, in terms of like Aries and Libra and Cancer and Capricorn being quite small constellations in reality, but they perfectly match up to make the cardinal cross. And then I'll show you actually on this one. Yeah, I'm just really excited, because then and I've heard these astrologers saying that no, you don't line up Aries with Ashwini because of the precession of the equinoxes and all this. But for me, like, Regulus is in Leo. It's like the heart of the lion, the fixed star, and so therefore sidereally works. And not just Regulus, you know, there's lots of the other stars, but anyway, they line up with this. And yeah, I'm just finding it really interesting, because I've not studied the 27 nakshatras yet, because there's a lot of it to go. I've just been studying the ones that apply to my own natal chart. And little bits of the two paintings that I've done involving the nakshatras. And so it's really interesting. It's like on this painting, this guy's got loads of energy, all focused around the Libra Scorpio cusp, and, you know, the nakshatras around there. So I've been learning a little bit about those today, and it's all just so interesting. But anyway, yeah, I'll just show you. I'll just explain what it is for anyone that doesn't really know. But so on the moment that you're born, obviously the sun and the moon and the planets will all be in certain positions, and up in the sky it's like a wheel. The wheel in the sky keeps turning, and so that's what people call the zodiac. It's the signs in the sky. So sidereally in India, the Hindus, they use the constellations still as the signs, whereas tropical is looking at it through a different perspective. I'm not talking about tropical anyway. Basically, if you look up in the sky, you'll see the constellation of Sagittarius takes up quite a large portion in the sky. You'll see that Capricorn doesn't. Aquarius is a bit bigger. Pisces is huge. So is Virgo, opposite it. And so they would take up more than 2.5 nakshatras in reality, because they're longer than 30 degrees. And in sidereal, dog's trying to get in, listen. And in sidereal, they use, you know, equal 30-degree signs. So anyway, I just figured out that it works perfectly. Fuck off, Jeff. Jeff's like an absolute... Listen to him. I may as well let him in. Oh no, they've shut the door. Maybe I'll edit that out or not. So, yeah, and again, I think I've mentioned this a few times before, but they're really in depth. And I think why I've really enjoyed astrology and why I feel it's part of my calling somehow is because it's just self-study. It's just self-study. This is the whole, you know. And you start off obviously in house number 1, and it's yourself. and the journey moves along, as in your outward appearance and how you appear to others or whatever. But then you get onto your values and your worth, you know, and then you move on to, you know, communications and siblings and all that jazz. And then you've got your home and your roots at the bottom, your family, and then, you know, your creations, and then your work, and then the top half is how you take that out into the world, and then, you know, travel, education, work, 10th house, groups, and then these are obviously, I'm simplifying it all, and then you get to the ending. But again, all of these are just archetypes of self, of parts of our psyche, you know. And for me, I found it so interesting to be able to see some of these darker shades of myself, I guess, you know, instead of being like the darkness, but, you know, just really feeling and acknowledging some of the, whoa, did you see that? Some of the darker shades, anyway, of which maybe I'm encased. And it's funny because we had a friend come round yesterday who's got so-called BPD, borderline personality disorder, and I just asked her for a birthday, and we were having a look on an app, so this was not my interpretations, but I was like, does this resonate, blah blah, just simple aspects and planets and houses or whatnot. And she was like, yeah. And as we were reading down, you know, the more tricky aspects of her chart or whatever, she's like, that's my BPD, that's my BPD, that's my BPD. And we were laughing about it. And then she said, you know, maybe it's where the stars were when I was born, and it's not actually borderline personality disorder. And I'm like, maybe it is, you know, maybe we don't need to label people so quick and just shove them off in the BPD closet with the bloody meds, or whatever else it is that we're being labelled as, you know. Because if we can understand these energies of which we're more encased within, it feels like it, they're more part of us, the struggles and the, what do you call it, the triumphs, you know. I don't know, I just find it also fucking fascinating, and so I'm really enjoying learning about these nakshatras as well. And yeah, so if anybody would like a painting, I'll leave my email address in the description. I didn't explain it, did I? Have I explained it? It's like I wish I could rewind now. So basically, I've decided that that's the way the sky is, and it is, because that's the signs, the sizes of the constellations, and the fixed stars and the nakshatras related to that space in the sky that is the same, that occupies the same space, is much juicier further research into your own psyche, and maybe certain, yeah, I mean, I've said before, like, each nakshatra, they have symbols and deities and myths associated with them, and they have a little, what they called sutras, I think, which is like a 2-line verse in Sanskrit, but obviously some people have translated, and it tells you one thing about the area, the nakshatra or whatever, that it needs, and one thing that it produces if it gets what it needs, you know. And they're so subtle and nuanced, these psychological traits and behaviours and programs, you know, I guess, that we're in, or energies that we hold. And I just find it so freaking interesting. And sort of, again, just relating to my own chart a little bit more, it's like I have my North Node Rahu in the 10th house of, like, you know, career, profession and all that, like, harder stuff, and my South Node in the 4th house of, like, home and family and stuff. And I always feel this pull. It's like, and not just actually since having kids, that just intensified by like 100-fold, but my whole life, you know, sort of like, responsibility, all this, and and I don't know, I just feel like there's always been a push-pull, and I'm sort of trying to figure it out at the minute, and so it's quite interesting that all this is happening at a time where it's like, do we just pull the kids out of school, like just get over it and try and start some new life, or are we going to pretend that everything's all right and keep our foot in the fucking door of the system? You know, it's like, these are questions that are like, it's just mod. These are questions, anyway, that are going through my mind, and I'm just sick of it all. Such bullshit, you know. Ooh, cold tea. So yeah, if you'd like a painting, I've still not explained it. I've just rambled. 222 or so then. I've been having a lot of deja vu, and sometimes I'm just like so in the computer game frame, you know, where I'm just like, ooh, I think I am the only one who exists in this entire universe, and you know, and that can be disconcerting or completely empowering depending what frame of mind you're in. So yeah, there's a full moon tomorrow anyway, and it's in Cancer. If you look in the sky, tropical, I think they're saying I think it's Leo through the tropical lens, but it's Cancer, tiny Cancer, and the full moon tomorrow is going to be in the nakshatra of Pushya, which is symbolised by the breasts traditionally, or the lotus flower. That's like a hybrid of both, that symbol. I nicked the symbols off somebody who'd done them very tastefully anyway. And so yeah, so it's like it's a full moon for us to reflect on relationships, I guess, and roots and home and family, and just how we're extending our love to those around us. Yeah, I'm always sort of like beating myself up because all I ever need to do is settle down. And yeah, last few days, maybe the last week, I've felt way more calm in my chemistry, like deathly calm kind of in my veins, you know, just like, yeah, just a shift. I don't know. And thank God as well. But, and again, at the minute, we've got all the planets in Capricorn. And look how small Capricorn is, like the constellation, in comparison with the others, you know. But, and in Capricorn right now is, I think it's Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, the Sun, and fuck knows, I can't remember, but, and at the beginning of February there's going to be an even bigger pile up, and it's like that Capricorn, you know, like structures, government, you know, power, these types of things. And yeah, and so, and again with Mars being in Aries, and I think Uranus is right there as well at the minute. Yeah, it just makes much more sense with the collective consciousness to me, what's going on right now. Again, you know, sort of, I was pondering this a while back, you know, about this perceived notion of the age of Aquarius and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I can feel a change coming, which is within me. But you know, I'm learning to try and use these energies for my own good. So tomorrow, yeah, I'm gonna set my intentions, write down my intentions, and really try and just release any more garbage with this full moon, and try and shoot off again, you know. Yeah, I've got so much to say in so little time, like Willy Wonka. Yeah, I'm gonna go now anyway. But yeah, if you'd like a painting of how the sky looked on the moment of your birth, and I'm gonna write a little key on the back. And I've been pondering offering like interpretations, free interpretations, because it's like, I like the way they look, you know, the cool paintings to stick on the wall. I've said before, I've got loads. I'm like absolute narcissist. I've painted loads of my own. I've got them everywhere, but it's really nice to just, you know, just keep sort of looking and learning and stuff. But I found that, you know, I'm just not there yet. I'm just not there yet, and so therefore it was quite tiresome. It took me quite a long time and quite a little bit of checking shit, you know. I'm not at that stage where I can riff so naturally, but maybe I'll get there at one point. But yeah, small, you know, interpretation or whatever. I think I might still offer that, a little video, and I'm do small, medium or large. This is like a medium. It is pretty big there. And this guy chose to have an armillary sphere thing in the middle, which I was like, fucking hell, because it looked a bit complicated to draw. But where the arrow's gone through, I've put his MC and his IC, which I thought was quite a nice little touch. And yeah, again, it's just, once you know the symbols, I have to put a key on the back anyway, it's just so good to just keep looking. Again, if it floats your boat, I just think it's another tool for self-reflection, that's all. And it really does float my boat. I find it's highly activating in ways, you know, like tarot cards can be as well and things like that. So yeah, I'm grateful for this experience and for the continued learning. And yeah, if anybody would like a birth chart painting, yeah, get in touch, email us, I'll leave it in the description. And yeah, thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you're all alright. It's been quite quiet on the YouTube front. Like I think I've missed a few of my favourite faces recently. It's very quiet. It's almost like there's some kind of like slow sort of, I don't know how to describe it, almost like, you know, if you get slime and then you pull it and it's gradually getting thinner and thinner. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, hopefully I'll do some videos soon. I've got so much shit I just want to rant out and just wax lyrical about. I've really been thinking about aliens a lot as well, and so I'd love to just rant a bit about that and get some chats going, you know, back and forth about this. But anyway, happy bin day, happy Wednesday.